What is happening, boys and girls? Welcome to Setup Wars episode 351. I really hope the last Seal of Approval edition inspired some of you guys to be a part of the show. If so, make sure to watch the video, link below to learn how to enter. But with that said, we have a jam-packed episode for you, so sit back and relax, grab your drinks, and let's begin. Building high-end custom PCs is fun and all, but there's something just as important as the hardware. For every PC I build, there are always must-have software apps I install to keep things running smoothly. One thing I can't live without is being able to manage and monitor my systems from anywhere. That's where Pulseway comes in. Pulseway has always been my go-to solution for real-time IT management. You guys have probably seen them on the channel before. It lets me monitor all of my systems, get instant alerts, and even resolve issues right from my phone. Whether I'm out grabbing coffee or on the road, I have full control over my network. It's basically a personal IT assistant. And it's not just for big networks or businesses. Even if you're a small managed service provider, Pulseway keeps your systems running smoothly and secure. With Black Friday around the corner, our friends at Pulseway are running huge deals just for my subscribers. You can get up to 50% off through bundles and save big on tools that keep your systems in top shape. These deals are only available for a limited time, so click the link in the description section to sign up and grab their offers before they're gone. Starting off strong, we've got Alex, an IT manager from Australia, and his beautiful wooden nature-themed setup. He put it together within 2 years for the main purpose of gaming and work, and the inspiration to build it was actually his wife. He was going through a rough patch mentally, and one day she decided to clear out a room and basically give him a free canvas to build the setup of his dreams. Shout out to the wifey Alex, by the way. You know, it's amazing to have a partner that supports you not only in the darkest times, but also helps and inspires you to be better and work towards your goals. I can definitely relate to that. For the foundation, Alex went with the classic IKEA Carbly and Alex drawer combo with a single Adil leg supporting it in the middle. We can still see the slight bend in the countertop though, so I would recommend getting a second leg and maybe placing them on either side instead of just the middle. That way the weight gets distributed on multiple points without being in the way. The monitors of choice are an Alienware Ultrawide and a no-brand 15-inch portable monitor, which he uses as a secondary. Now, even though he mounted his monitor on an arm, the monitor riser was a really good addition. And this is something I'd recommend to anyone who wants to make the most of their desk space. Thanks to this, Alex made space for his plants, controller, some keycaps with his name spelled out, that's pretty cool, and some pens and notebooks. For peripherals, we got a custom Sugar 65 keyboard paired with an MX Master 3, while the audio gear features a pair of Edifier speakers with matching wooden tones and a couple of Sony and Audio-Technica headphones hanging on the pegboard above. This is also where his collection of keys are. I'm sure our keyboard nerds in the comment section will love to see them. But what caught my eye the most are the Pokemons that match the colors of the switches underneath them. Pretty cool idea. The cables are managed beautifully, all running through channels flush to the desk, and the PC powering it all is inside the gorgeous Fractal North XL. It's packing the Ryzen 7 7000X 3D paired with the PNY RTX 4070 Ti Super. I actually did a build in a similar case not too long ago, if you guys remember, the APNX V1 non-RGB PC, and I feel like the wood accent trend is here to stay, and it's gonna grow even more in 2026. Like, we're gonna see more cases with them, and we're gonna see more setups with them as well. But that aside, beautifully executed setup, Alex. Thank you for participating. Coming in at the number 2 spot, we've got another setup with warm colors, which belongs to Marco, a 15-year-old student from Germany who uses it mainly for gaming and game development. Developing games at 15? Damn, okay. Good luck with your work, Marco. I'm really curious to see what kind of games you're developing. If you're watching this video, let me know in the comment section. This actually used to be his dad's office setup, but Marco took it over 3 years ago and started upgrading it slowly over time. We've got the same exact Carbly countertop and Alex drawer combo as with Alex, but Marco went with triple monitors. An ISO in the middle, sandwiched between 2 Samsung displays, all 3 mounted on an arm onto the desk. Now, even though there are 3 monitors, they are attached to the desk at a single point, and to compensate that, there is a leg underneath, and that's why we're not seeing any bowing or bending in the middle of the desk. Talking about peripherals, he went with an Everest Max keyboard and the Logitech G502 Hero mouse combo, And for audio, we've got a 2 full soundbar and a pair of Jabra Evolve 75 headphones. I don't have any complaints about the cable management. Nothing is visible behind the monitors at eye level, and all the cables are kept off the ground underneath the desk with the help of some 3M tape and cable channels. The PC is quite an interesting build. It features a Ryzen 7 5700X, a GTX 1660 Super, but it's getting powered by a 430 watt power supply. I mean, that's to be expected considering that Marco's been upgrading the parts one by one over time. But you say you're planning to upgrade the GPU next. Now, I don't know what graphics card you're planning on getting, but I do recommend getting a new power supply first, or simultaneously with the new graphics card. That way you can be sure that you'll have enough headroom and not starve the system of power. In any case, you've got a very cozy setup going with minimal decor, and I'm excited to see what your upgrades will look like in the future. Thank you, Marco, for being on the show. Numero tres is a dual setup by Steven, who works in IT business support in Switzerland. We can already tell by the racing sim what his main interests are, but let's start with the setup on the left, and I gotta throw this out here first. That wall color is bombastic. It really does bring the entire room to life and pairs beautifully with the greenery you have added. However, if you look closely, you can kind of see the paint streaks on the wall. I'm not sure if that was done on purpose, but it definitely takes away from the presentation. Anywho's, he built everything within 3 weeks, and he kept his main gaming and working setup pretty minimal with only the essentials. We got two 28-inch 4K Samsung monitors mounted on an arm, and in terms of peripherals, Steven went with a mouse and keyboard combo by SteelSeries, the Apex Pro with white keycaps, and the Aerox 3 mouse paired with the wrist rest. Those complement the mouse pad colors really well, by the way. For audio, we got a pair of Edifier speakers on the desk, which I would recommend putting on a couple of stands. This would mitigate any vibrations they would cause by being placed directly on the desk, while also giving you the option to tilt them towards your ears. The monitor placement isn't the most optimal for this, so I can see why you didn't go for stands in the first place. Whenever it's time to game, Steven switches to the Astro A50s, which are resting on his beauty of a PC. It's a system featuring the Ryzen 7 7800X 3D and an Asus ROG Strix 4080 OC GPU. Lovely stuff. I even see that you went the extra mile to get some streamer cables for the GPU, but that 24-pin custom cable looks a little sad without any combs. A cable comb's a small thing, but it would make a huge difference for an overall clean look of the cables. Last but not least, let's check out the sim rig. It's an Uplight GTR S3 with a monitor mount, where he attached all of his Thrustmaster racing gear and the massive 49-inch Samsung Odyssey G9. This makes me want to go back and build a much better sim racing setup, but I'll probably wait until my main setup is done. I would select the way you worked with the lighting in your whole room. We've got accent neon lighting with the Formula 1 car, contour lighting behind the plant on the left, and of course the cloud ceiling with RGB behind it. Pretty cool collection of F1 driver helmets and Pokemon cards as well, by the way. They're probably pretty rare, but I have no clue what the hell I'm looking at, so don't flame me in the comment section, you guys. Nonetheless, thank you, Steven, for coming on the show. Up next is Tamer from Australia in his super clean, white-themed hybrid setup. I'll explain why it's hybrid in a second. Tamer is big into fitness, but the one thing he hates the most is cardio. So my guy decided to combine his setup with a full-on treadmill, which he can use whenever he's working, basically hitting two birds with one stone. I gotta respect the dedication, man. I've been kind of slacking in the gym, as you can see. He went with a single 34-inch display from Asus, which he mounted to the desk, and for peripherals, he's rocking a Keychron K6 with a Logitech G703 mouse. Taking a step back, you can already tell that Tamer has put a lot of thought and care into the fine details of the setup. The desk is super clean with no cables on the surface, and the only visible ones are covered with white sleeves, so they blend in with the desk and the wall. Besides that, we have his old PC, MacBook, a few decor pieces, the Steam Deck, and a pair of Kanto speakers on their respective stands. His only other source of audio are the SteelSeries Arctis 7P Plus headphones hanging underneath the desk. Now, the underside of the desk also got some love and attention. All the cables are handled properly and are being held up by a rack, cable ties, and some Velcro straps. Tamer even went the extra mile to install a wireless charger right through the desk itself, as we can see here. Lovely, lovely job. The custom rig that he's rocking is built inside the O11 Dynamic Mini, featuring another Ryzen processor and an RTX 3080 overclock. It's evident already based on the last few episodes that no one is rocking an Intel system anymore. We got to see the end of Intel before GTA 6. Let that sink in. Also, thank you very much for including the setup progression photos. It's really cool to see all the changes your setup went through over the years, starting from 2021 to the end up to the current state. Amazing job, Tamer. Thank you for coming on the show. Wrapping up the episode is the Gordon Ramsay of setups. We have Tony, who is a chef from Germany, with his corner setup. He put the setup together within the last year and mainly uses it for consuming content and gaming. The foundation is a Lindemann corner desk from IKEA, to which he mounted all three of his monitors in a TIE Fighter layout. We got a 34-inch Samsung G5 as the main, with two Acer Nitros on the sides in vertical mode. I'm not sure why you decided to have the bezels of the vertical monitors on the inside. I mean, usually you'd have them on the outside, so there's a seamless transition between the displays. Also, you can access the joysticks a lot easier, but to each their own. It looks like Tony went with all Logitech peripherals. We got a G915 TKL and a G502X Lightspeed mouse, and hey, would you look at that? He's got the same exact Arturia Mini Fuse as me for an interface. Good choice, by the way. It's connected to his Yamaha HS5 speakers, which also have quite an interesting positioning. I mean, sure, there wasn't really room to place them on both sides of the monitors, but kudos for putting them on stands and tilting them towards you for when you are sitting down. I still think you could have moved the PC a little bit to the right to make room for the speakers, but then you wouldn't have been able to hide the cables the same way. Anywhoosies. Since we already mentioned the PC, might as well go over it now, and my money is on another Ryzen processor. It actually kind of looks like a literal aquarium. I don't think I've seen this on the show before, but he really took the term fish tank literally. He built it inside the well-known Height Y60, and it's rocking an, oh wow, what do you know, an i7-12700K and an RX 7900 XTX. It looks like Tony broke the AMD streak. In terms of cables, the racks are doing most of the heavy lifting, but you can see that Tony took his time to route and manage them properly. Very clean job. I mean, this room overall is a vibe, I must say. We've got light colors with a bit of greenery and wooden tones, and I love how you hung those mirrors on opposite sides to each other. This gives a more spacious look to the room whenever you look at it. It's a pretty cool life hack that a lot of cafes and restaurants use, so definitely keep that in mind for future setups, guys. Nonetheless, thank you, Tony, for participating. And that is it for this week, folks. We had quite the international episode this time around. I don't think we had a single US contestant, which is another testament of how globally impactful this series is, and you guys are. Now, there was one thing that none of the setups had, which I never mentioned, by the way. The first person to join my Discord server, name it correctly, and tag one of our moderators will get to take home a free TechSource mousepad, a part of our Season 12 collection that we just launched. As always, you know the drill. Let me know in the comment section which of these setups was your favorite. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you very soon in the next one.